How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Impulse, back at it again with another video. This time around, we're going to be responding to a new character in this channel. It's going to be Trent Horn. So, Trent, a couple months ago, made a video in response to philosopher Peter Singer, who posted a specific link to a article that was defending zoophilia, also known as bestiality. I know, very sensitive topic. I agree. I'm sorry for this. It's just, I saw it and I had to respond to it because I was like, this is insane. So, Trent takes the standpoint that in modern sexual ethics, given this understanding of modern sexual ethics, one cannot give a adequate answer as to why bestiality is wrong. Don't take my word for it. Actually, let's hear what Trent has to say about it.
Is it okay for people to have sexual relations or contact with animals, aka bestiality, or what is now called zoophilia?
No, bestiality is not okay. Let's keep watching.
Instead, I want to use this particular behavior as a way to point out the serious flaws in modern sexual ethics, because modern sexual ethics can't answer the challenges that are posed by philosophers like Peter Singer, who defend things like bestiality. Sure, that kind of ethic can give an emotional response to the issue. Most people who believe in modern sexual ethics, when confronted with bestiality, would just say, oh, well, what the hell is wrong with you? You're gross. That's sick. Why would you do that? But this emotional response, it only lasts so long, right? That kind of response worked for a while against things like transgender ideology, but now look where we are. We also need a solid intellectual response to this as well, and in doing so, it'll help show the fundamental weaknesses of modern sexual ethics divorced from natural law and God's plan for our sexuality. We can't just say, the argument can't just be, that's gross. It's gross and disgusting. That which is disgusting can certainly be a clue to something being wrong, but it's not an undefeatable kind of argument. Not all evil things seem gross to people. And there are some moral things that can make people uncomfortable when they think about them. Most people don't want to think about their elderly grandparents having marital relations, but there's absolutely nothing immoral about that behavior. So just saying something's gross, it's not enough to make an argument. Bestiality, zoophilia, is one of those things, at least right now, that nearly everybody agrees is wrong. But the more important question is why we all agree it's wrong, because that's something we don't all agree about. So, how do you argue against bestiality?
Trent goes on to respond to two main objections, the harm objection and the consent objection. I'm not going to be responding to the harm objection because I'm not really interested in that one. So, in his response against the consent objection, he states that we do many things to animals that don't necessarily require their consent. Some things like experiments, cosmetics or makeup, or even for the production of food, like their flesh, right? So the question really is, why is certain types of activities, now the cutoff? So, weirdly enough, I agree with Trent that using animals for cosmetics, for the production of food, and experiments is morally wrong. So this objection just doesn't harm me at all because I'm already from the outset granting that it's wrong. But let's try to do something. Let's try to engineer something as to why we can find an objection that we can save modern sexual ethics while not collapsing down to bestiality. Consider this condition as a necessary property or condition, right, for morally permissible sex. It's reflective, reciprocal, romantic love. By reflective, I mean, in fact, they romantically love this person and understand that they love this person. They also, in fact, understand that the partner loves them or is romantically in love with them and is able, in fact, recognize the romantic love between each other. So one's about yourself, your recognition. The other one's about putting yourself in the other person's shoes. And the last one is about recognizing the relationship together. If we put this as a stipulation for a necessary condition for morally acceptable romantic love, we escape this bestiality objection. Animals simply don't have the capability to have this type of reciprocal, reflective type of romantic love. Now, reasonably enough, Trent might say, well, that actually, unintuitively maybe to a lot of people, it leads to the conclusion that casual sex is morally wrong. The reason why is because casual sex does not necessarily involve romantic love. Now, the question is, can we hold the view that casual sex is okay without collapsing to other very unintuitive conclusions? My answer is obviously I think so, right? So instead of saying romantic love, swap that out with lust. Reflective, reciprocal lust. Once you put that into the consideration as a necessary condition, you've now allowed for casual sex. Why? Because there's a recognition between yourself and the person. You understand that that you have lust for this person. You understand that they have lust for you. And on top of that, you understand that there's a lustful relationship going on there. And boom, casual sex is saved. We don't have to commit to bestiality. Reason why? Because animals simply just lack this reciprocal, reflective lust. Now, there's a question here as to why we would add a lustful feature or reflective lustful feature to this condition. So one can simply say, this is simply what I mean when I use the term morally acceptable, or just the phrase morally acceptable love. It's just true in virtue of the definition. Now, another way one can take is that the explanation comes from the cases. When we analyze the cases, we extract specific ingredients that makes things morally acceptable. So the explanation is coming from the cases themselves, right? Now, with a caveat here, I will say that a necessary condition you can add, and I do, is for morally acceptable morally acceptable sex is informed consent. Add that. That is a good feature to add for the theory that I'm developing here. And I think you should add it, actually, because it leads to counterintuitive conclusions that I'm not going to get into here. But once we add these two conditions, what I'm just going to call it reciprocal lust and informed consent, we've now escaped the collapsing down to bestiality. Now, there's a question here that I asked earlier was, why add the lust feature? Well, because we're staying in the domain in which sex is involved. Lust is desire, like a desire for sex or something like that. Like this desire aspect, this specific type of desire, or maybe not necessarily desire for sex, but I guess it's very hard to explain. But yeah, you can add that to a feature, and now you've saved the theory. Now, the last question that, even though I'm not sure if it was said, I'm not gonna go back and rewatch the video. I've watched it like 700 times already. I'm trying to build this up. Is, why is sex more special than other acts of play, right? And to me, this seems like an odd question to ask, because my immediate response is, it's special because we don't want to rape anybody. Nobody. We should not rape. That's it. The explanation just stops there. Why would we need anything else? And once we have that, I think, I believe, I mean, at least it seems to me, I get everything that I've wanted to account for. So, yeah, other than that, that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.